just entered the bear crawling nation on the No Agenda Stream.
This is R. Mordant, and welcome to the other side of live.
Welcome everyone to the late night New Year's Day motivational show, otherwise known as Success Freaks, aka the other side of live. That's right. We are changing things up here in 2013. In fact, tonight's working title is Your 2013. And we are live and kicking it from both St. Paul, Minnesota, and deep in the Bears Den in Monticello, Georgia. And deep in that hole, deep in that snow-covered den of antiquity is the dark side of positive, Charles McFall. Say hello, Charles.
Oh, my word. Did you say Success Freaks, or did you shorten it and I missed something there?
No, I said Success Freaks.
Deep in the hole in the den of iniquity.
It said the den of antiquity, not iniquity.
Well, I'd rather have iniquity. My bad.
There you go. Well, there you go.
Wow. The snow has frozen your brain, sir.
It has frozen my brain. It is, 2013, a year that I thought we might never see because of the Mayan apocalypse. I was actually surprised when I watched the ball drop last night in New York and saw on TV in New York. And it was like, oh, they reached 2013. Huh. Well, I guess we're going to go then. I guess we're going to have another year at this.
How drunk were you at the time?
Not at all. Maybe that was the problem. Maybe that was the weirdness.
I don't know. I always had an inkling of what would happen with the Mayans and this and that, the other. And I did some research on it, and it was fun. But, I never doubted we were going to make it simply because we have too much to do in 2013, man. We really do.
We are indeed busy little bear crawlers. So yes. I need to learn to I'm going to resolve to make better choices with my words.
So it's your year, 2013.
Boom.
That's
week, right.
And I thought last week we had the technical difficulties.
Well, it is what we do. So last week was TOSOL number 76, Two Guys, One Christmas. And I had a great time on the show, went back and actually listened to the show because I just thought it was kind of like a lot of stuff happening from different angles and different people talking. Was it really show-like? And I listened to it and I was like, what a great show. It was a nice Christmas show that I think 5 people tuned into.
It was good. I had a lot of fun, and it was great having Gitmo Slave on and talking with him and just chilling for a night, just relaxing, because it turned out we did not have any kind of studio setup whatsoever for that night. So it was good that we planned to relax, because if we weren't relaxing, we would have been stressing.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, it was good that way. I thought it was a lot more fun that way. And we just got to share our Christmases with each other and with the 5 people listening, and it was good.
And if you missed it, of course, you can find that on, which site do we want to give out tonight?
The new one. We have new stuff going on.
So it'd be successfreaks.com. You can find it there.
Yeah. That's right. Right.
Do you remember? I honestly don't. Do you remember what number episode that is?
Yeah, it's number 76. Okay. This is 77.
Good for you.
So tonight is your 2013. And it's become a tradition on the first episode of the new year that we talk about it was 2012 and then your 2011, basically talking to our listeners about what we plan to do in that coming year and what they might plan to do in the coming year as well. Are we going to give out the phone number this time, or I don't remember how we do this anymore.
We started a new thing where it's at the end of the show. We definitely want your phone calls and your thoughts, but we figure you're going to listen to the show. There's a lag in what we're talking about as far as the broadcast goes, so you don't always get to make your point. Write it down, make a little mental note to yourself. If you want to call in, it's going to be at the end of the show. We are saving 10 minutes, maybe 15 if you're special, just for you to come and share your thoughts on this show, previous shows, whatever you want to talk about. It'll be open lines once we get through our thoughts. So that's when we'll give out the number then.
Yep, there you go. There you go. So last year, for your 2012, we had a lot of new things going on. We were just about to join the No Agenda stream. We hadn't yet. We switched over our Facebook to BCN TOSOL. We were just getting into the other side of live. I had just bought for myself a Blue Yeti Pro and the shock mount for that microphone, and the mixing board was on its way. I hadn't even gotten that. And so it was all kind of still new podcasting stuff for me and for the other side of live, now Success Freaks.
I'm trying to think. Of course, I was obviously spearheading us getting on to the stream because it was a network at the time. Bear Calling Network was there. And interesting. I got a note from Rock Girl. Sorry.
Great.
I'm sorry.
That's great to halt everything midstream in live radio. We're starting off 2013.
Well, I was trying to make sure it was live because she says as the show started, I'm still hearing the show. And you know what? She's right. For whatever reason, Gitmo did not hit the button, and we're not going out live right now. So you talk a little bit more about that. I will fix this.
All right. So if you don't know it already, and I'm sure you do, this is a live show that we do. So sometimes we're plagued by technical difficulties. We've learned to just roll with the punches. We've learned to really have a good time with it. So even though we are live, we're not quite live at this moment. So I'm just going to be talking to my microphone, to Charles, who's diligently working at trying to get us live, and to Christy, who is just watching TV in the room, trying not to be bothered by me talking to nobody because she can't hear the other half of this conversation. So it's that kind of night. She's actually looking at me and probably going to throw her phone at me. So that's what's going on. Anyways, I'll move on from that. So last year we had a lot of new going on, especially with just about to join the No Agenda stream. It was a very exciting time. We really weren't sure what that was going to mean and what a difference a year makes. I mean, I talked about, especially in the beginning, how nervous I was, doing a new format, completely different than what we had done before. Before we were like, okay, we're about to start the show. Let's start the show. Okay, here we go. And we would press the button. Now the show starts no matter what, kind of, because we're not live for whatever reason. So that was what was going on. This year, a lot of changes are coming about. We're switching from our title from The Other Side of Live. We're switching it over to Success Freaks, because those of you who have lived this for long enough, you know that we're a motivational, a comedic motivational show. And we have a lot of fun with it. We goof on each other, but we still talk about a lot of things that have to do with dream hunting and achieving your goals and just figuring out what you want to do in life and how to make this a better life for yourself and for ourselves. So that's really what we're about. So Success Freaks are what we are, and Success Freaks is what we do. So that is now the title of the show. You can still find us from, anything connected to the other side of live. We're certainly still attached to our past that way, but we're changing things up. We're changing up the website. We've got a brand new Facebook page, which is...
I can talk now.
Oh, you can? That would be great.
I was like, you just keep...
Shucking and jiving. I'm shucking and jiving.
I'm laughing. I'm making little noises. Like, it's just kind of funny to watch you keep going. Like, I'm about to run out of everything to talk about. Oh, my goodness. It's funny. He's on the job.
But anyways, let me finish my thought. The Facebook page is facebook.com/successfreaks. It'll look strangely familiar. It looks almost exactly like the other page that we had because we wanted to keep that familiarity. That I'm getting a text from Sharon Watson saying, problems? No, Sharon Watson. There are no problems.
The problems are with the listeners, not
here
with
in
us.
Success Freak Land.
So, yes, facebook.com/Success Freaks is a new page, and successfreaks.com is where you can find everything. So it'll be a pretty smooth transition for everybody. We're going to wait till February or so to lock out some of the other stuff or forward it, whatever. But you'll be getting a nice, smooth transition throughout the first part of this year. But going back, you're saying where did we come from in 2012? I had the Bear Crawling Nation. Actually, that's probably the beginning of 2012 was probably the height of the Bear Crawling Nation at the time.
Yeah.
And we had the most shows tied in. and I just finished up talks with Gitmo Slave and Mr. Oils about bringing the whole network on, and everybody had signed their own different agreements and figured out what they're going to do. And the only reason was that the first Other Side of Live was not the first show on the stream, was because I was like, you know what? It's my deal, damn it. I want my show to be the first one on the stream. So the Other Side of Live had to wait a week so that I could have the Bear Calling live show go on first. But yeah, that
as well it should be. You put a lot of work into that. So, my first smart aleck response is, and have that turn out for you.
and it turned out really well. I work for No Agenda Stream now.
There you go. So yeah, that was it was a fun, interesting time. And now it's now we're here at a new beginning, a lot of new stuff going on for us. We're changing the title of our show, the website, the Facebook, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We're getting ready to go to Vegas in just a couple of days.
Couple of days.
That's freaking me out. Freaked me out last night when Christy said, "Hey, you ready to go to New Year's?" I'm like, "Is that today?" And I had a very good time with some of my 10 Seconds of Harmony buddies from Minnesota and their families. And it was, oh man, it was kid central. Nobody's business. Even when I showed up, they're like, "Are you going to be all right with this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I like the crazy a little bit." So they were all ages, mostly really, really little, running around, and all the parents, of course, they, raise these kids. So they're just having a fun time. It doesn't really bother them at all. So I just enjoyed the madness, and we got to watch we're in Central Time, so we watched the Eastern Time ball drop and New Year's Eve, and that was the one for the kids. And then the kids were like, "Okay, everybody time to call now," and we did that. And the next one was one for the adults, but by that time, we'd all gotten in different conversations. It was fun. I had a great time with them, and it was always good seeing them. They started their own podcast a little while ago, too.
Oh, yeah? How is that?
It's good. It's mostly, they're music people, so there's some songs that break up their stuff. And then they just talk back and forth about, things that are going on. Honestly, okay, here's the truth of the matter. I've listened to the one that the Tortuga Twins are on. They interviewed us for the second one. That's the one I've listened to. So. And they're like, "Have you heard the show?" I'm like, "Yeah, I heard that one." So I bet it's good. I bet it's, maybe good enough for the stream. We'll have to see.
Well, we're always looking for new content, especially live content, which apparently is not going to work tonight. Gimmo is still hammering away at that. But looking back over the last year, let's track our progress. I'll track mine, you track ours. That'll be a little bit,
right.
Damn it. Some person's taking over freaking the chat room.
It does not matter. Hey, my chat room went away anyways. Keep going. Talk about what you're going to talk about.
You look at the chat room. People are asking for you. Jimmy R is in, and they're confused because somebody's trying to do politics, and then we're not live, and everybody's getting confused. Some guy's trying to take over with conspiracy theories. That is honestly, didn't see that coming with joining No Agenda Stream. When we looked at joining, we're like, wow, this is like syndication. It's going to bring us so many people and expose us to so many new listeners. And then we got in, and honestly, it didn't, because we didn't know about the paradigm. Neither did the people behind the stream. Of a lot of listeners only realize No Agenda, think No Agenda is just a show. So they show up just for the No Agenda show. Even though, honestly, Adam himself has said, we're a station. We have all these other shows. Go check those out, this and that and the other. People aren't getting, so that was kind of a pop in the bubble. And then honestly, I did not expect people to randomly getting into a chat room, listening to what's on the stream at the time. And from my knowledge, right now, they're rerunning last week's show. So we're actually on the station. We're just not on live. And, they get in and they just want to talk politics all the time. I was like, don't you know what's going on? A live show is actually going on right now. I don't understand why you don't get that. But that's been the weirdness. So we went from up and coming grassroots podcasting group to this spring. Things moved so fast that it became apparent I got a job with the company behind the No Agenda stream, recruiting new talent and managing the talent that's on there, making sure we get great new shows to put on the stream. And it just really became evident with that quick, fast growth that doing the podcasting group wasn't the right thing for me. And I fought with it and wrestled with it and talked to my wife and talked to you and got advice. And everybody took it well. You know, some of it was hard. Some of it was obvious. Some of it was like, yeah, you know, that's a cool thing to do. And welcome to the No Agenda stream. We are finally live. Thanks.
Hey,
Amanda,
hi everyone.
Amanda says, does this mean you're running long tonight so we get a full show? No, it means you actually have to go and download it. That's what it means. The best
podcasters unite.
The best 15 minutes we've ever done was just tonight. You missed it. Sorry. So, but you know, talking with the entire group in the spring, a lot of it made sense to them. A lot of it clicked. That's when you and I decided to do the NMX. And then later I was still doing my show and the morning show and the other side of life, our show. And that's last year really grew from your show in my mind because this was my choice. When I'm sorry, something happened in the chat room made me laugh. Speaking of Manda, she randomly got kicked out of the chat room for no apparent reason. It wasn't me. I didn't do it. And for the record, Get My Slave says, whoops, accidentally hit the
like accidental jackassy chick.
Yeah. So there we go. Anyway, sorry, it's a distraction night. It's a new year. We get distracted.
Okay.
That's what we do.
Yeah, there's stuff going on right now, and we are finally back live again for everybody listening to the podcast. We are live again. We have people who are on the chat room who are actually talking to us. I have a good friend of mine from Florida who is now saying hi to me, so I got to say hi. Gitmo Slave, in pressing all of his buttons to make everything work, has ejected one of our great listeners out of the room. I think on accident, but I'm not sure. So it's mayhem here. Maybe the Mayan apocalypse is happening now. We got the date wrong. So maybe it's all happening now. And you know what they say? The way you spend your first day, the way you spend your first day of the new year is going to be the opposite of the way the rest of the year is, because the rest of the year is going to be fantastic. That's it.
I think that's
that
nothing.
Must be the way it's going to be.
Really? Are we going to know wives' tales? Because I'll put my Schoolyah hat on.
Go ahead, put on your Schoolyah hat. Well, how's it go?
No, I'm talking about I don't buy into old wives' tales crap. Who buys into the way you live your first day of the new year? You realize, just for those of you who do think that, you realize the calendar is arbitrary. A man in a country, I believe this is the Caesar calendar or the Roman calendar or something like that, picked dates, picked days, picked months, and it's changed over the years a little bit here, a little bit there. You know? Just because today is not different than yesterday. It is a new year. It's a time for you to take a moment to reflect on your past year. It's a time for you to look forward to what you want to achieve. Be happy. Have fun. But come on, don't. To me, that's a negative thought. Don't go, well, if today was bad, my year's going to be bad.
You know what else it is? It's comedy fodder. That's what it is. So if I can use old wives' tales to make comedy, I'm going to do it that way. If I can use the fact that we are a live show that wasn't live when we first started for our first show of the year, I'm going to use it that way. It's all comedy fodder. It's all pod fodder. It makes for entertaining adventure for all of us. And I won't even comment that on the TV right now, Betty White has a new show apparently.
Are you talking about Hot in Cleveland?
And Psy from Gangnam Style is on as well.
What, dude? Focus. Besides, the only reason you like old wives' tales is because you're an old wife, but that's okay.
I am. I'm your old wife, so there.
There you go. So the last year for me was the transition of it being your show and into being our show, because you had wanted me on, and at the time I was fighting you because I was already on the road show. Then I was on Bear Crawling Nation Live. I was working with other people. And I was like, I just don't want to hear my voice again on another show. It's too much. I don't like people who they do 5 or 6 different shows. So their network is just really them talking. That's not a network.
Dave Jackson.
Oh, no. No. Dave Jackson doesn't do a network. See, that's the difference.
No, but he
Dave
does 5 or
Jackson,
6 shows. The man does a lot of
he
work.
does
He
a
is
lot of work, but he puts it out to different groups. They don't really cross-pollinate. I mean, there's other people who have quote-unquote networks, like the Bear Calling Nation was a network. But it's really 21 shows, but they're on every single one of them. That is not a network. Our good friend Dave, I'm going to let him smack you one good time when we see him in Vegas. Just for that, because he's my good friend.
Yeah, I know he is. That's why I had to throw it out there.
So Dave Jackson, when you're talking about us, it's Success Freaks with my good friend Charles and that other doofus. That's all right.
What is it Lee Brown calls me? Mordor.
Mordor. Our Mordor is what he calls you. So yeah, so I won't repeat the story, but I had made the choice to hold back from you and say, no, this is your show. I'm just holding your hand till you get your training wheels on and you go. And it really, I stopped fighting that because I don't think you ever bought into that. And maybe you did, maybe you just transitioned before I did. But at some point before I even committed, you were like, you had me at hello. I'm like, dude, it's not like that. Stop. You know, and but I think you understood that we were a team before I did. And last year definitely was a cementing of that for me going, okay, I'm going to invest. And then into the middle of the year, again, I came to you with a crisis going, I'm doing too much. I talked to my wife. She asked me to pick one show, which immediately made you go, because you thought I was going to pick The House of the Bear. you there was a slamming shut sound, and I'll let you imagine where it originated from. But yeah, when I told you I had to pick one show, and I paused. I think I counted to 3 in my head before I told you it was The Other Side of Live, just to let you panic for just a split second. And apparently, did I lose you?
No.
Oh.
You almost did a year ago, but no.
That was more like 6 months ago. Anyway, so yeah, so settled in here. And you, man, you've pushed me beyond. See, letting go of the Bear Crawling Nation was letting go of something good for something better. And I want you to hear that, everybody. That's 2013. That's our motto for this year. I haven't discussed this with Mordant, but I believe he's going to be on board with me. The one of the catchphrases you're going to hear us push this year, and I did take it from somebody else. I shared a link to a church service I was in on the Sunday before Christmas. And I'm not sure if it's on the video or not, but the music minister was leading into a new song, and he was just so pumped and so excited. And the phrase he said was, sometimes you have to let go of the good to be able to grab the better. And it really is such a success freaks church. Man, if you say that with a slur or with a mumble, that is going to sound horrible. But a success freaks church. And that is one of those quotes that's going to be with me. Last year, I learned the hard way to let go of the good to grab on to the better. And we've secured a spot at NMX. I never would have done that on my own, or maybe not never, but it'd been years before I would even thought of attempting it. You didn't throw the backpack over the wall, Mr. Mordant. You threw me over the wall, and then you came after me on that one.
I think I did that again earlier this week. You were telling me, we're like, okay, we're going to take this one step of the transition, one step at a time. We're going to change the name, and then maybe we're going to do this, and then we'll work on the Facebook thing, and then all of a sudden there's like, all these people on our page. That's like, where do they come from? Why are they showing up now? I'm like, I couldn't wait. I got excited. I pressed the button.
You did press the button. I followed suit. I was like, all right, I guess we're doing this now. And what did I tell you earlier? I guess we're moving because that house is burning to the ground. I'm glad I had my stuff packed a month ago because I figured it was going to happen sooner or later.
Well, one of the great things about 2013 is that we had so much prep happening in 2012. And so we've got stuff that we were just setting up in 12 that is now starting to hit in 13. And as you're stretching into the new year, everybody's like, "What's your resolution? Oh, what are you gonna give up? What is your, are you gonna quit smoking? Are you gonna lose weight? Are you gonna do this?" And I'm like, I've quit things before. This time, I wanted to pick something what is my resolution? Something positive that I'm working towards. Already knew that we were going to be working towards our motivational conference in June. I'm like, this year I'm putting on a motivational conference in June. That's my resolution. That's something I'm working towards. To me, it sounds almost like almost like I'm cheating a little bit because I knew I was going to do it, but there's going to be a lot of work in this. That's my New Year's resolution. I'm going to learn a lot as a person to do this. I'm going to fail a lot and learn from it as a person to do this. I'm going to grow a lot as a person to do this. So that's my New Year's resolution. I'm going to produce a motivational conference. Now, we are all doing that. The Success Freaks team is all doing that. But, that's how you do any of your resolutions, really. Anything that you're really going to accomplish, you do it with some help, as the Beatles said, with a little help from your friends. I think that was setting it up. Whatever you're. I'm sorry. I'm just going to finish my thought. Is your 2013 should be about not just, hey, what am I going to slide into and I can ease on and just kind of live my life and just one day at a time, whatever happens. No, you grab hold of that thing. You let go of the good to grab hold of the better, but you got to grab hold of it. You got to pull yourself towards it. And that's what this is about. This is your 2013. Make it so.
Now, I did say, here comes the bus. I need to get a bus sound. Here comes the bus. Here comes the bus. Here comes the... Anyway, little night court humor. I thought you kind of cheated. I think you kind of T-balled it there. And I said T-balled like to stand for kids.
Right.
Because we were already doing that. I mean, we were so committed to doing that 2 months ago that it's like saying, almost like saying, okay, I woke up. It's January 1st. My resolution is I'm going to put on some clothes. Well, I would hope so because you committed to not being naked at some point, didn't you? What if you pick something, not a negative, not a quitting. I love the mentality. I love the thought. I'm like, man, if you asked me to make a resolution with these things, I'm not even sure what I would pick. So it's not easy. I'll give you that. I like that you said, don't quit anything. And honestly, that's why I've never done resolutions. We've had 2 years now of this is your 2011, this is your 2012. And you go, what's your resolution? I'm like, Daddy don't make resolutions. That's for the weak-minded. Because I don't quit. I don't quit anything. I let go of the good to get to the better. Or if I have a problem, I don't just fix the problem. I find a good solution that is more positive than it is. Because quitting, like you said, you've quit many things. I've quit some things. I didn't quit eating. I didn't go on a diet to lose weight. I chose a better lifestyle. And that's what actually finally worked.
That's why you succeed.
Exactly. That's why I succeeded. So I'm just really hammering in. I love what you said. This year I can get behind it. It's like, oh, I'm not going to just, if you asked me to, I would, but I'm not going to just make a resolution because it's been 35 years of me saying resolutions. But I love what you're saying because I can always work towards a goal. I can always try to be bigger, better, more. That's awesome. What if you took something that was more personal to you or even for the business or whatever, but and applied that? Something that normally you say, I'm going to quit this, but instead of saying I'm going to quit this, I'm going to, what's the positive?
I disagree with you, sir. This is very personal to me.
I'm not saying it's not personal, but you already committed to it.
This is extremely personal to me.
But are you afraid that you're not going to put on a conference?
No, I'm resolved that I will.
But you were resolved.
This is my resolution. To me, a resolution is a goal.
I know, but you already had that goal 2 months ago.
I think you're stirring up trouble where there is none.
No.
I'm afraid you're incorrect in this, my friend. This is my resolution.
But it's not your resolution today.
We can talk about it. When you get one, we can talk about it. Until that time comes, don't muck with mine. And muck is what I said.
I know it's what you said. I'm just saying it's cheating.
Remember, here at Success Freaks, we are Father Mucker friendly.
Oh, nice one. No, here's all I'm saying is 3 months ago even, I think it was before Thanksgiving, we hired somebody to our company to help us put on a conference. If that wasn't a resolution then, I don't know what is. So for you to say it now, like it's new, I'm like, that's not new. That's 3 months ago. Where's your new one?
It doesn't have to be new. I planned before when I'm going to quit things, or it doesn't have to be new. It doesn't have to be. It's a New Year's resolution. It's going to happen in the new year.
All right.
I think you're wrong.
Maybe I'm just nitpicking with the linguistics of it.
I know you are.
Because I'm just hearing it that way. I'm not trying to stir up trouble. It just comes naturally.
You're barring trouble. You're taking out a loan on trouble.
Toil, something trouble. I don't know. Anyway, Okay, so
But anyways, I'm
all right.
resolved that this is going to happen, and I think I'm going to get a lot of growth from this, and one of them is patience with the people I work with.
Okay. All we can ever do as human beings. Here's the lesson to learn, kiddies. All we can ever do as human beings is react how we live. React out of where you live. And when I hear people talk about New Year's resolutions, they tend to say, okay, starting today, I'm going to quit smoking. It's all about, oh, in the new year, I'm going to start this or I'm going to quit this. It's that new resolution. So I expected when you say my resolution is blah, something that you haven't done before. That's where I live because that's what I've heard all the time. So for you're just being positive, I was like, that's not a new resolution. We did that 3 months ago. Bring me something new, man. That's all.
Part
I
of what we
agree.
do here at Success Freaks is show people another way of being. And it's not just teaching them, it's also teaching ourselves. We show people another way of being, another way of doing things. And that is life by example. And part of that is we're also going to show you another way of being by teaching you how we work through our own failures.
True.
So this is a different way of doing a resolution. You're absolutely right. This is a new paradigm for doing it. You don't have to stick with the old. Well, I'm going to give up this, or it's almost like Lent, where you're giving up stuff, as a form of prayer. And there's nothing, there's nothing wrong with that, but that's not what we're talking about. To me, a resolution is a goal. What is your goal? Turn it into something. Turn it into something positive for yourself. Turn it into something that's really going to affect your life. And for me, this is going to affect my life, and that's why it's another way of being. It's another way of resolving things.
My my thing is, 'cause I just my thing is, this year is just going to be my outrageous, bigger, better, more year, even more so than last year. And last year was fairly outrageous. If at the beginning of the year I would have said, well, I'm going to try to get more listeners for the group, and I'm going to try to really succeed at being on No Agenda and monopoly. By succeed, I mean build on the traction that we get from being in a new live home. And what has happened is just so much more. Obviously we're freaking leaving for Vegas in like 2 days, man. That still blows my mind a little bit. We're doing a live show as part of the official festivities. We're doing a live show from New Media Expo. Limited slots. Not everybody gets to do it. As you can imagine, there's thousands of shows represented there. We get a full hour slot. It's a beautiful thing. It's an amazing thing last year was. So I'm like, please, I want last year to look like nothing after this year. That's my resolution.
All right. Yeah, let's talk about what we're going to be doing in Vegas this coming week.
So what are we going to do?
I don't know. This is your turn to talk, brother.
All right. Amatoire, I can't even say it, but one of the person in the chat room, they hit me up with a message or a question about the conference, which I will answer in just a minute, or maybe Rock Girl or somebody in the chat room can answer that for them. Okay, so Vegas, man, Friday we're getting in. That's our 1 day off, right? Which I use bunny floppy ears stolen from Lee Brown's Dirty Boxers. Floppy bunny ears. I said it wrong. Yeah, quote unquote. Because you and I, we're always working on something in our heads. When we take a day off, that means we're not sitting at a desk with a computer in our hands, which we still might end up doing on that day. We're going to see Vegas. We're going to go, personal moment though. Definitely going to go over to Golden Pond where they shoot the show Pawn Stars for the History Channel. Love that show. Those guys are just awesome. And we're going to go in there and shop at the pawn store for a few minutes. I've got some free Slurpees at 7-Eleven, so we're going to find the 7-Eleven on the Strip. And I'm sure there's other things. We're going to meet our great friend, my great friend, soon to be Mordant's great friend, World Traveler Jim, is coming up on Friday. We're going to meet him for dinner and see him for a while. I haven't physically seen him since a couple of years ago when we went to Israel together, and that was a lot of fun. And that's Friday. Saturday is going to be a work day. That's why we went in early. Saturday night's supposed to be a pre-conference party. We haven't gotten details there yet. Then Sunday morning's the conference. And we are there. We'll be tweeting. Follow us at Mordant World and at Bear Crawling. Also on Facebook is Bear Crawling and R Mordant Mon on Facebook. I'm not sure how much will make it to the Success Freaks page. I don't quite know how to we'll figure it out. But you can follow us. We're going to be tweeting constantly, Instagramming like fools. I hope they have charging stations, as I'm sure they do, being that's a bunch of geeks going. And so Monday morning, well, it'd be Monday afternoon for the East Coast. Monday at around 2:15 p.m. Eastern. It'll be 11:15 a.m. Vegas time. I'm not sure if that's Pacific or Mountain or what it is. But it'll be 11:15 a.m. for us. It'll be 2:15 p.m. We're doing the live Success Freaks from New Media Expo. And if the time was Sunday, and we were promoting that, and then we got moved to Monday. So if that changes again, just stay tuned to the Facebook page. And dude, beyond that, it's just going to be a whirlwind of meeting people we know, meeting a lot of people we don't know, getting educated in the conferences, learning so many great things, networking, and a little bit of partying, for sure.
Yeah. When is the podcast awards at?
The podcast, I'm sorry, Grammar Nazi, when is the podcast awards at? How many times did you correct my typing?
No, I didn't see anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
Let's roll the tape back, Fred. I don't have that ability. The podcast awards, which is one of the major reasons we're going, is 9:30 p.m. Eastern, and I'm trying to track down the links because it will be live broadcast on the internet. But other than that, I'm not sure how you can tune in and watch. Gitmo Slave is going to try to rebroadcast it live. Not Tuesday, Monday. I'm sorry. I said Tuesday, didn't I?
It's a Monday. Okay.
Monday. My bad. Monday night. It's the middle of the conference. I just keep forgetting the conference starts on Sunday because it's so a weird layout. Monday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, will be the podcast awards where we will be claiming the best in general category, without a doubt.
Nice. It'll be a fun time all the way around, and it is Mountain Time that Arizona and I think yeah, it is Mountain Time that Nevada is on.
All I know
right
is it's 3 hours behind Eastern. I know that much. So
yeah, yep. So that is going to be great. We're going to make some great friends out there, and I'm probably going to get schooled by Dave Jackson
yeah,
for giving him grief on this show. If he listens to the show, if he doesn't listen to the show, then I'll skate by. It'll be all good. And that, well, I listen to his show when I'm on the treadmill. So blah. It's right about the perfect length. Or it was. Now it's an hour long. So that's what fun is coming up for us.
that's just this month. I mean, now, and people in the chat room.
I got to address something in the chat room. I had my friend who I've said hi to before, and is now just kind of saying hi to me a lot more. It says hi. It says hello to you. I'm like, hi, I see that you're there, and I'm doing a live show. It's great that you're there. Hi, I get it.
Well, the open lines are coming up in just about 7 minutes. So he can call in and give you grief as well, or she, or whoever
Fantastic. So the next thing that we're doing, do you have something else you want to say, or are we going to move on to?
Well, just talking about this year. People have been asking details on the conference, and we can share a little bit of what we know.
That's next, baby.
All right.
Boom.
See, look at that. 2 Guys, 1 Christmas. What do you know?
So, yeah, we are doing Success Freaks. We're calling it Success Freaks 2013, and it's Success Freaks Atlanta because this one's in the Atlanta area. And it's happening June 14th and 15th. It's the lion's share of the conference is on the 15th, on that Saturday. And Friday night we're having a special something, kind of introduction to the peeps, or maybe just you and I are going to do something on Friday night. I believe it's going to be in Conyers, Georgia.
Covington. It'll be Covington, just outside of Atlanta.
Oh, Covington, Georgia.
We're getting the location locked down once we have it actually signed. And then we'll actually really be promoting it, but it'll be just outside of Atlanta in Covington, Georgia.
Groovy. So right now we've got tentative speakers lined up. We have definite maybes from about 4 or 5 people. That's woohoo!
No, I've got we've got a definite from you and I, of course. We've got a definite from mine, and then 2 others are definite
from one
maybe.
of mine.
So then there's only one definite maybe, and I'm gonna, I'm not gonna throw you under the bus, but you know who you are, and you want to do it. You just need to step up, bring food. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
Too bad.
Okay.
Now, I want to go back. So we're doing this conference. It's going to be a Friday night free get-together, panel, come hang out. Saturday will be the full conference, and there will be tickets because we got to cover the cost of the speakers and the location. And, there's a lot that goes into this thing. But we always love to do cheap and free and fair, and we're going to treat you right as best we can. And it's going to be such a good day that day. It's going to go all day Saturday with a break for lunch, and at the minimum, 4 speakers, if not 5 or 6.
Right. Now, and if you're not in the Atlanta area, fear not, we are going to actually record everything so that you can get everything digitally.
That's
One way or the other.
One way or the other. You can pirate it.
Yeah, there you go.
But going back to Success Freaks, why we changed the name now, right before we get the award. The award-winning The Other Side of Live is now going to be the award-winning Success Freaks. Why did what universally happened that really pushed us into this now, sir?
I think it was just meeting the right people at the right time. We did our whole segment last year, which once a month we did a Success Freaks segment. I mean, we were a motivational talk show or comedic talk show, but The Other Side of Live, it sounded more inviting. It sounded, it's exactly what we were. But I had a buddy of mine who does his own talk show or his own podcast, and he does very, very well with it. And he listened to ours. He goes, I like it. I like what you guys are talking about, but why don't you just call you guys Success Freaks? Because that's kind of who you are. And that way, people looking for you on the web who don't know you will at least stumble on you, whereas The Other Side of Live really doesn't say anything about what you're doing. Yeah. It's like, that made sense. And I wanted to bring it before you, and I thought for sure you were going to shoot it down. I'm like, I'll see what he says. And you jumped all over it. It's like, okay, I guess you're changing the name. I wish we had thought about this 2 weeks earlier.
I know,
so
right?
I hadn't spent $200 on business cards that said The Other Side of Life. But it's all good. Whatever.
Yeah, it'll be all good. It'll be all good.
They'll make great bookmarks.
I cannot. Oh, I remember. It's the TV show. The TV show Rules of Engagement with David Spade. I just had that moment when you were like, "Does that make sense?" I went, "It kind of does."
Yep.
So yeah, it was like first you're like, "Well, we can't do." You know what? It kind of makes sense. I just bought business cards too. Damn it. That was the thing. Now take it back another step. He's not just a friend of yours, right? It's not actually a friend of yours at all. It's somebody that was, unless I got the story a little mixed up, it was somebody who was introduced to you that also does a podcast, and you got to talking to him, and his podcast is wildly successful, where we'd like to be with our numbers. And we don't focus on numbers, so I'm not going to throw him out there, but by all measures, he's successful. I'm like, wow, you're good at what you do. How about, if you wouldn't mind, take a look at what we do and give us some pointers. You should always be looking to grow, right? And he did, and that was like the first thing that came off. It's like, man, this is great, but why don't you call it Success Freaks? And that carried a lot of weight. I mean, the fact that he knows what he's doing, and he went, do this, and then of course our brains go, well, yeah, that kind of works, and I mean, everything clicked. Then we brought it to our team and expected, both of us, you expected me to shoot it down, and I didn't. We both expected the team to kind of, what about this? What about that? And they all went, nope, yep, that sounds right. Let's do that. So yeah, and it's funny. People would say the timing is bad, but I say the timing is perfect. We listened to the universe. We put ourselves out there. Leading up to this for 2 or 3 weeks, I can't remember the details, but I know that we were having some struggles. We were like feeling that we're not connecting quite right. Something's not quite right. Well, let's plan this, but the timing's not right to plan this. Let's not move forward on that just yet. There's a lot of hesitancy. And then when that clicked in, at least for me, when that clicked in, all the barriers were removed, and off we went. It feels like we're back flying again.
Yeah, so. Definitely. We're definitely sailing forward with this. And that's how it is in life a lot. That's how it can be with your year as well. You have a couple of things that you're not sure about or whatever it is that you want to move forward with. And suddenly one thing just falls into place and they all start lining up.
Yeah.
That's what all that is, baby. That's what it's all about.
Animax was like that. The joining, committing to Success Freaks was like that. The name and the company and everything else. And it's been an amazing year, but man, this year is going to be just so much more.
Read the mail, read the mail, read the mail.
I love that.
We shall indeed read the mail. We don't actually have any mail. Jamie notified me that she left a speak pipe, but as we learned, I need to put this out to everybody in the listening area, as we have learned from 2 weeks ago, that apparently speak pipe does take about 12 hours to process sometimes. So I guess it depends on the volume.
Give yourself 24 hours.
Yeah. So she called it in tonight. It'll probably come to me tomorrow, or it'll come to you, depending on which one she used. I forget. So if that happens, then we'll play it on next week's show, without a doubt. We always love to hear from people. SpeakPipe. For those of you who don't know, you'd like to call in and not actually talk live, but you still want to get your point in. We have a SpeakPipe tab on all our Facebook pages. It's on all of our personal pages, as in houseofthebear.com and mordantworld.com. And of course, SpeakPipe is prominently featured on successfreaks.com. All you need is a computer. Some smartphones actually will work with this, but this way you don't have to call in a voicemail. You click the button. It'll ask you if you can use your microphone, so you do need that. You need a little headset mic or something. You leave your message, hit send. It's as simple as that. Also, you can call in 206-666-5458 is the voicemail number, just to call from a phone and leave a voicemail and not worry about being live. But everybody's holding their breath right now. Do you remember what the live number is, sir?
No, not even a little bit. Not even off the top of my head, but I have it in my notes somewhere.
I got it. No, I've got it. I just, sometimes you surprise. I don't even remember the old number, and you still remember.
218-632-1724. Boom! I'm a reader.
218-632-1724. That is a number to call right now, so you can get on live. Tell us about your past year. If it was bad, obviously it's better now. If it was great, it'll be even better now. That's the. Tell us about your year. Call on in.
That's right. 218-632-1724.
And we're going to keep hemming and hawing and filling some space, because that's what we have to do. It's a live show. But feel free to interrupt, throw in your thoughts. If you want to comment on anything from past shows, the past year, the changes, anything, you feel free to call in. So I want to give a shout out, because I see him in the chat room and I haven't seen him before, is E for Energy 2 is in the chat room. And I want to say, hey, brother, good to see you there. When we're back in the Atlanta area, we might actually come back on your show. I think that would be fantastic. Oh, I'd love to. I'd come on anytime he asks me, but, he doesn't ask me unless he needs to borrow money. That's all I'm saying.
Oh,
I'm just messing, Ethan. I wouldn't do your show.
You're wrong.
I know I
that's
am.
Painful. Love it. Okay, those of you who, we talk about doing different, your New Year's resolution and things like that, but it's all really just goal setting. And if you want to have a fantastic year, if you want to, level up your life this year, really become something amazing, changing your life into something more than it is right now, have you set the goals that you want to achieve? If you've set these goals, have you written them down? You have to decide what you want to do this year, what you want to achieve, even if it's a small thing. If it's a big thing, you can break it on down. But then once you've decided, write it down. It's like having a GPS. You need to know where you are and where you want to go to, and then write these down. And then have you set any kind of actionable steps, these baby steps to help you achieve your goals? You have to decipher what the steps are necessary to achieve these goals, daily, weekly, monthly. Write these down. And then you take your daily, weekly, monthly steps. You take those steps and you keep a record of your achievements so you can see how far you've gone. So you can see by the time it comes to next year, you go, look what I've done. And if I've done this, I can do so much more. It's kind of what we're sharing with you tonight. This is how we do things. Not always, not perfectly. Sometimes it's great just to be lazy. But yeah, if I ever want to really achieve something in my life, this is what I need to do, especially as distractible as I can get. Thank God I have a team who can come to me and go, okay, this is what you need to work on now, sir. They don't call me sir. In my head they do, but they don't call me sir. This is what you need to work on now. Hey, do you know that we have a show tonight? You need to do this. Okay? We need this.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, you're right. So these are the recommendations, decide what kind of goal that you want to have, whatever it is you want to achieve. Write it down. Decide those steps to take you to that goal. Write those down. Take your steps. And then when you achieve that, write it down. There's so much more that happens if you write it down. Just having it in your head, sure, that's a step more than most people, but writing it down, your percentage of actually achieving this and beyond, even if you don't look at this list, even if you don't look, is so much greater than if you don't write it down.
You could also call it in right now, 218-632-1724, and have it recorded, and then you can just go back and listen to it. That'd be awesome, too.
That's right. Stop me from ranting again.
Please.
I mentioned that I have a cough or a cold.
No, you did not mention you had a cough. You hide it well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's us, though. That's life. We really don't stop the show for much of anything. We get side. I think the last time I willingly canceled a show was actually when I got back from Israel. Major jet lag. I was miserable. I had gotten food poisoning on the airplane, so I puked my guts out that morning. Slept all day, got up, and at the time, Steve was my partner on the Bear Calling Nation Live, and I called him. I was like, Steve, you better be happy, because I don't have the energy to be happy. And he was like, dude, I have a cold, and I'm sick. I'm like, nope, it's done. And so typically, as long as we can talk, as long as we're just not miserable in bed, we pretty much do the show, sick or not. And so I like being sick, to be honest with you, on the show, where I don't feel bad. I don't like feeling bad, but I like when you're getting over that cold because I have that Barry White voice going on. It's quite sexy.
Yeah.
Speaking of sexy voices, again, 218-632-1724. You can call in live. That's 218-632-1724. Put it in the chat room once or twice. You can call in. Of course, on the podcast, don't get it twisted. You can call in, too. If you're listening on the download, it's 206-666-5458. That will go directly to voicemail, and we will play it on the next episode. We'd love to hear from you. But every Thursday morning, I have a meeting with Lala Siegfried about all my nonsense or just life or hanging out. It's honestly awesome to have a friend that's not as into podcasting as I am. Because everybody I've ever made friends with in podcasting world, including you, we'll talk about life stuff. But we always start talking about our show or our stuff, don't we?
Yeah. I mean, we've had shows planned where we're going to do this and this and this and this. And then it's like, you know what? This happened in our life. Let's talk about this instead.
Yeah.
So it's everything is relatable to us.
You can't.
That's why we're doing this show, and then we're having our bushwhacking show at NMX, and then the very next day we're doing our regularly scheduled show, talking about everything that happened at NMX. We're not going to talk about it that Monday. We have a show that we offered to them, and they said yes, we want you to do this show. So we're going to do the bushwhacking success show. We'll talk about our experiences the next day. So you're probably going to get fed up with us, but whatever.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because some people might feel like if they don't tune in Monday, they missed the show for the week, and that's not the case. If you don't tune in Monday, we'll come to your house and smack you. But you won't miss the show.
No. We will, however, kick your dog. It's okay. I like dogs.
we are definitely doing 2 shows next week. But the reason I brought up Lala was because a lot of times the conversations, we get coffee on Thursday mornings because she's up early before work. I'm up getting ready for work or starting work. And it was a time we had. So we're drinking coffee, and we're supposed to be talking about her show. She has questions. I'm mentoring her, this and that and the other. I produced the show as well. But typically, last week we got talking about video games that we play. Had nothing to do with anything. It was just really cool to talk to her. But I wish it wouldn't embarrass her, but I would record it, play it here, because it's just the sexiest morning voice. Like, hello! But I can't even do it. It's like Barry White and a female. It's amazing. Her morning voice. I'm like, that's awesome. You're a podcast. You were born to be on the radio, without a doubt.
Yep, and so she is.
Yep. Maybe she'll fly into the conference. That would be fun.
I think that would be trouble.
I like trouble, as you know. I rent it. I get a loan on it, whatever you said earlier. But one thing I don't do is I don't stir it. I might heap it, on you, but I don't stir it. So, well, you know what? It's about that time. Do you have anything else, sir?
No, I think we got 6 minutes still. I don't know what you're talking about that time.
But to shut down the phone lines that time.
Oh, the phone thing. I want to thank all the callers who called in today.
It's a new year, and if you're scared of talking, this is the time to get over it because we're very
Get over
gentle.
it. That's right. We promise everybody else listening to the podcast, we really are a live show. We promise you. And one day we'll have people calling in, and then we're gonna be. We have stuff that we need to say. Why are these people all calling in?
Well, that's a great problem to have. See, that's the thing. Well, let's hit this up. That's her today. And it's really quiet. Why was he quiet and Don Knotts wasn't? I don't know. But I like problems because you come up with solutions. And some people don't. Some people, were like, well, problems are problems. And my wife's that kind of person. She likes to have easy times. And who doesn't? But I like problems because when I say it's a good problem to have, it means you're successful. It means you're going where you want to go. Sure, I would love to have a problem where we have 40 callers and we can only get to 5. Not because I like ignoring 35 people, but because I like that people want to comment and participate in what we do so much that they're willing to sit in line and then call back next week or call on a voicemail. We do this because we love doing it, but it never hurts to get told that we help people's lives. And 2 episodes ago, when we did the listener blowout, we had a lot of calls come in, and actually I had one just popped up. Well, I'll ask you about that in a second. But we did have a lot of people call in, talking about how we influenced them and changed their lives. We've got an interview coming up later in January where we unbeknownst to me, we motivated somebody to achieve some goals, and that's cool. But there is a caller on the line, so shall we take it?
Yes, let's please.
Even though Jabba laughed them off. Here we go. Hitting the button. 954. Thank you for calling.
Hey, it's Jamie. I just wanted to call, say hi. No one called in.
We got a pity call. That's awesome. Happy New Year, Jamie. How are you?
I'm sick, but I'm good.
That's
okay.
Yay! Bye. No, thank you for calling.
Jamie's
Jamie.
one of the people that are saying hi, and I had my friend Jimmy saying hi, and then they're both of them on the back channels, and I finally looked at the back channels. They're like, "Is this on? Can you not see me? Can you not hear?" I'm like, "I'm doing a show." And I can barely look at. Whenever I start looking at the chat room too much, and Charles is always talking about something, he'll throw it back to me, and I'll be like, "Oh, what was he talking about?" So I don't watch the chat room that much. So if I'm not paying attention to people messaging me, it's because I'm working. But thanks for calling in.
No problemo. Hope you guys had a good New Year's.
We did. It sounds like you had a great one, too.
I wish it was more exciting than it was.
Well, maybe
No,
it's better to be safe than, the crazy, wild Charlotte time that you could have.
Yes. All right, guys. You guys have a good one.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
So
See that, people? That was fantastic. All the crazy, wild uproar of that's what these calls could be like for you, too.
it really is live. Now, a little side note, we probably will not be having a live number for NMX, depending on how we get set up, because we're having to use their equipment and everything. So that's for the actual NMX show. But, of course, next Tuesday it will be live, and you can call in and congratulate us on our win. So that's awesome. But, sir, because I know you're so excited about it, where is the new places they can find us?
Well, if you are listening to the podcast, we are live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern at successfreaks.com/NAS. And, of course, the NAS stands for No Agenda Stream. If you are listening to the show live and you want to find some of our older episodes, you can go to successfreaks.com and find them there. Or, of course, they're available on iTunes.
Yeah, and we'll let you know with the iTunes. We're going to move this slowly and smoothly where it makes sense. Things might change on iTunes. We will let you know before it does so everybody can be prepared. So don't go freaking out that you're going to lose the shows if you listen on the download. Also,
Yeah, I think if you're trying to find us on iTunes right now, we're still the other side of live.
yeah, you can't. I don't know what happens if you search Success Freaks on iTunes, but that part hadn't been built yet. We're still moving into the new house, unpacking the boxes, and it's buried with the china. So the other thing that really, really, really would help out, people have jumped on board with Christmas and helped out, and it's awesome. You can always donate money, and that's fine, but that's not what we asked for. We asked that because we know times are tough for everybody, and donating to a show that you can just listen to whenever you want is kind of hard to justify in your budget. But if you shop on Amazon, which a lot of people do, I shop on Amazon. If you're like me, you can click the link. It should be successfreaks.com/Amazon, and it will take you right to the Amazon page. And whatever you shop for, anything you shop for, will give us some money. And it doesn't cost you anything extra. Amazon pays us, not you. And it helps us out greatly. And I want to thank everybody who bought stuff in the month of December. When that comes through, it's going to be very, very helpful. But it would really, really help us, do better, bigger, better, more. If you shop with Amazon, click us. I got distracted because apparently our team is a bunch of little speedy squirrels, and iTunes is already coming up with Success Freaks.
That's great. That's great. I just got a private message from, I'm sorry. I just got a private message from Jamie. Jamie, you're not a pain in my butt. I'm just messing with you. I think that's the reason why people don't call in, because we're not really nice to people who do. We're like, please call in. And then when they do, we're like, oh, so that's what you were talking about? That's just me.
Unless you got a mouse in your pocket, don't be saying we, because I'm like, I love you. Thank you for calling. You're like, hey, we'll make fun of you. I'm the nice daddy. He's the mean daddy.
Well, I'm going to apologize right now to my former friends, Jamie and Jimmy, who are no longer my friends apparently, because I dissed them. You're not a pain in my butt at all. Please keep bothering me. Please. I don't have enough friends. Please keep bothering me.
All right, but I think that's going to be it for this evening. Or not. You got another message?
I did. It says,
Alma.
That was not, this is funny. That was not meant to be broadcast. LMAO.
Oh, yeah. See, that's the thing, too. That is one of the tenets of bear crawling is nothing's ever private. Everything in our lives gets put on the table, and that means if you message us, okay, I'll phrase this carefully. If it's a simple message like that involves us, then there's more than likely we're going to raise it on the radio. However, if you, like we've had a listener before, if you have real issues that you really want some advice on and coaching on, we did a show. I couldn't tell you right now what the number is. We had a listener say, I have this going on in my life. My family has to move away, but I want to chase my dream. What do I do? And instead of outing all the dirty laundry, and we were very sensitive, we were very kid glove, and we gave successful advice that we would use, and without. So don't be afraid, is what I'm saying. Don't be afraid that everything you write to us will ever be put on the air. However, funny stuff that throws us under the bus is definitely going on the air.
Yeah. Yeah, E for Energy 2 says speechless. Jamie just says grrr. So thank you for, if you were endured this long of the show and you really enjoyed the show tonight, thank you so much. You are definitely our true believers and true listeners. Thanks for tuning in to Success Freaks. And for the past 2 years, The Other Side of Live, we are going to stick around for 2013 and take you to other unbelievable places and maybe even get our technology taken care of as well. That would be great.
We would definitely try to do that.
I think that's it. I think we covered what is going on in your 2013. Thanks for listening in. This has been our Mordant Mon.
And I am the resolution bear.
Ciao, dream. Is that what I want to say? No, I'm going to change it. Ciao, Success Freaks.
Nice. I thought I lost you.
Boom, baby.
We will never be anything but love. And